body language says it all.
I've been so excited to have this conversation because I have been so inundated, as I'm sure you have been too, with all things New Year's resolution and body. I just wanted to do a bit of a gut check to start. How are you feeling about your body, New Year, quarantine, all of those things? It's such a specific year to have feelings about our bodies.
I have to admit, I took a break from social media because I noticed it was getting to me. And I love my body. I love my curves. I love the lumps. I love everything about it. I'll watch it jiggle in the mirror, all the things.
Did you always?
I did not always.
Okay.
No. And
just making sure you're not like a magical unicorn.
No, oh my God, I wish. Every day is like a journey, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but to practice self-love and to just put yourself in check and say, yeah, there's a lot of crap coming out there. There's a lot of diet culture, but you have to just sit right with yourself. Like at the end of the day, it's just you and your body and your temple, and no one else is in charge of that.
I totally agree with Brittany that even in all that time, like I had to reduce my screen time because I just, anytime I spend too much time on my Instagram, particularly, I feel like hell, whether I'm comparing myself to people's bodies or like during quarantine, especially their homes and what they have. And there's always a sense of keeping up with the Joneses on Instagram because it's like what it's built for. But I think that now that I am back in my apartment in Brooklyn, I think that I have started to think about body more as I think about getting back to work, getting back to set. I have gained some weight during quarantine, and
Me too.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we all did. Hey.
Right? And a few people in my world have as well. And I have said, we made it through a global pandemic. You're still alive and well. And like, who cares if you have to buy a new pair of jeans, which I did. I bought 2 new pairs of jeans this morning. And like that used to make me want to hurl myself off a building. But I can't care. I have no more energy from 2020 to care about having to buy a new pair of jeans.
I understand so deeply now the privilege I have in this body, in this home. The whole thing is such a gift. And then when I get down to it and I'm quiet with myself, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of kind of coping mechanisms that I used to maybe call bad for me or unhealthy, but you're emotionally eating because you're surviving a global pandemic. Like, eat. If you can't move because you can't find the mental health and your stability to be able to, like, dive into that and be okay with that, because I think self-care is always kind of met through this whole lens of health and getting better or beating some kind of standard that you just set for yourself.
But like productivity in wellness.
Totally. Yeah. And then this past year, it was just like, how about we do exactly what we need to so we survive?
And to go from like deep to surface, but you practice a lot of self-care through makeup.
Okay.
But I want to talk about it because I think we're talking about nuanced stuff. Like we're talking about the muck in the middle, right? Because we always see these broad strokes of stuff. Like, you're either making resolutions or not, or you believe in be who you want to be, or you're a makeup fiend. And like, I really feel like most people live in the middle, and the middle can be complicated, and that's not valued in our quick society. Right. And so we lose that. And so I think we start feeling alone in that.
I need people and getting on Instagram stories and putting makeup on my face, using my hands, getting out of my head, getting into my body, my creative flow, the whole thing. I was met with so many compliments, but a lot of really that in a global pandemic, like we're worried about brows. That was when it clicked for me that it was like, oh, right. Because we set everything that we do up to these like really crazy moral standards that are just so entwined, and people think you're good for doing one thing and bad for doing something else, when really people know this much of what's going on behind the scenes.
I mean, for me, in a sometimes you work inside out and sometimes I work outside in. Like sometimes when I'm not feeling good, again, as surface as that can be, if I put on my mascara and my something, I'm sort of reminded of that person. And then
Yes.
she's a little easier to find in the
The spark is back.
spark
Even
is back. And then you can start rolling the thing up the mountain again. Brittany, I want to go back to you, and because you said something quickly, but I think that is the hard part for so many people. How did you feel kind of confronted and overloaded with the new year, new me, social media, and yet your confidence muscle somehow was strong enough to like, what was that? What is that? What's that little space?
It was more just like survival, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you kind of look at 2020 and you're like, there are just so many bigger problems. There are people losing their lives. So Brittany, put yourself in check. And I have to thank my husband as well, because he's really been like my rock, my support. I don't know about you guys, but it's hard being stuck in a home with your partner.
Try shooting a television show with them.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly.
The worst.
You know.
And Lauren, let's talk about the jeans, because I too bought myself a couple new pairs.
Well, I think that when it comes to body, I have, because of the nature of my job as a fashion editor and reporter, and then as a garment business owner, look at clothes in a way that has taught me to take the value out of them and the value out of size. And they're just clothes, and people make them wrong, and people talk about them wrong. And there's no way in hell that I am going to let a size tag in a pair of jeans, a pair of cotton pants wreck my mood. It makes no sense to think that we are wrong and the clothes are right, when in fact the clothes are wrong and we are right. And whether we're talking about right, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Jeans never fit anyone, right? Because the clothing design process is very, very flawed. Any piece of garment is fit on one person, one fit model typically, and then mass produced, sized up and down by math, and it's supposed to fit the 100 million plus size women, if we're specifically talking about our category, and it just on paper makes literally absolutely no sense.
You know, there's no consistency, so it's unfair for us to beat ourselves up based on these imaginary sizes or this one person's sizing.
Big fallacy.
Sometimes I still fall into the trap of like, oh, this is a medium. And I'm like, no, you can't like the medium if you're also going to be okay with going to the 16, girl. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah. I have to catch myself. I'm wondering if any of you did make a resolution this year, or resolutions. Is that a practice you do? I find the whole thing stressful. There's so much expectation collectively from humanity. And I sort of feel like anything that I would make for myself feels sort of try-hardy or weird. Although I did legit write in a gratitude journal last night and go for a walk this morning. Neither one of those things I did yesterday. I'm not immune to it, and those things aren't bad for me. And so I kind of check my motivation, and that's okay. But I'm curious.
Checking motivations is I love that. I've never heard that before, but I really like that turn of phrase. And I'll probably go through my list and do just that after this call. I love resolutions. I set a bunch. I want to read 24 books. I have to stop drinking. I've just drank too much last year. Oh my God. So that's one. And the motivation is sound. I think I should probably lay off the wine. Those are
I know, I'm the same. I'm the same. And when I hear you say it, I'm like, damn it, Lauren.
My husband drives me crazy with his New Year's resolution. And I was like, I don't have the capacity for this in 2021. I don't want to know what you're drinking, not drinking, moving. I don't care. So I was like, I'm going to lead. I have no resolutions. And then I decided to just, tune them out. But one thing that I did do was I tried to kind of get the flow of what I was doing last year that I hadn't been previously doing. So calling friends and family, we were cooking more, we were spending more quality times with the kids. For sanity, we were getting outside every day. So I kind of just reframed what we had already been doing in 2020. And I'm going to try to carry it over and just keep doing it.
I love that. That completely resonated with me. And although I don't have a physical, New Year's resolution list, it's definitely tapping into those things that were very genuine to me and just checking in and saying, why do I want these things? Is it because I'm comparing myself to someone? Is it because I saw it somewhere? Or is it because it really brings me joy?
Mare, do you have any?
Yes.
I told you I made my gratitude journal. I honestly, it's weird. It's a weird thing about me. I'm interested in what's to come in a really thoughtful way. And so you would think I would have like a vision board but honestly, that kind of stuff makes me itchy. But maybe that's the block. Maybe that's what's blocking me. I don't know. Like maybe if I cut things out of a magazine and put it on a Bristol board, I'd be like, I'm not sure.
You have vision board trauma, my goodness.
I know, vision board. I don't know if it was like a Girl Guide moment, but I just was over it. I just couldn't do it. Is there a part of any of this that is just okay to happen with you?
All of it.
Yeah,
All of
I would
it.
say I'm not inclined to share like any of it really. Probably already shouldn't have told everybody that I drink too much wine. So wishing I shared less already. But no, I mean, like, for what purpose? So I can get a like and a pat on the back for at the cost of like someone else feeling like shit. It just like, I don't know. It feels icky to me.
Perspective is shift a little bit. If anybody's ever dealt with any kind of like disordered eating or stuff like that, there's an accountability to myself that I have to keep. So sometimes January 1st would mean a lot of like crazy, insular, like awful, habitual stuff that I felt like I needed to hide and put in tiny boxes, because tomorrow I was actually going to be half the size I am today, so long as nobody could talk me out of doing what I was doing like a maniac. So for me, a little bit, it's just to keep me like this much accountable, and they're never body related, and I'm very conscious of that.
When it is authentically motivated, it reads differently. There's something about it that rises, you know, there's so much, but still the stuff that hits, it's because it's true, you know, it's true and you can feel it. I know none of us talked about any kind of resolution that were body focused. If I did have a resolution that had anything to do with my body, it would just be to move more, because I forget how much movement has to do with my own mental health and my own ability to make better and better decisions, whatever that means. I don't mean food decisions, I just mean like life decisions. So my question is, can you love your body and have goals to change it?
100%. Perfect example, Lizzo.
Lizzo and the juice cleanse was a thing.
Girl,
It triggered me too, and I had to check
I was
myself.
like, no. And then I was like, no, I'm a feminist. I mean, yes, you can do whatever you want with your body.
It wasn't about losing weight or, you know, fitting these stereotypes that people think she should fit. It was just about like doing something good for her body. And I think it's completely fine to move your body without the goal of losing weight or the fear that people think that that's what you're trying to do. I think it's about what makes you happy and healthy and whole.
There are so many industries that have merits, as Meredith, you said, in the middle, but have taken these extremist end goals and turned them up in order to make more money. But the process of any of those things, like getting dressed or doing makeup or moving your body, is often very rewarding and good for us.
We're trying to police everybody else's experience. And really, when we get quiet and down to it, it's like, why am I having such an adverse effect to somebody doing something for themselves? At the end of the day, you just have to stick to what's true for you.
I think that's a good note to end on. I think the truth thing is huge. And I think what we were able to do today is show up and speak ours. And what I'm super hoping is that any eyeballs that see this feel okay to live their own truth. And, you know, maybe I'll make a vision board, you know, maybe. We'll see. Thank you.
Should I drink more? And that's my only question. Do I need to start drinking more?
You start drinking more? Oh man, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
I feel like
maybe this is my cure for more wine.
I know